All right, folks, I put in the title, Watch These Dates for the new financial system to be rolled out. We're going to be taking a look at the most recent prediction from Jim Rickards, folks. And we're going to give you the exact dates, the timeline, and how this new system is going to work. I want to make sure that we're all tapped in. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you appreciate this content, can you do me a favor and smash that thumbs up? Let's get right on into it, folks. So we're taking a look here. We see the attacks are underway. Jack Straw shares this: internet and cell outages in Northwest Alaska, North Slope caused by offshore fiber optic cut. So we see some moves being made here. Looks like internet systems going down. We've seen banking systems under attack over the past, couple months, most recent weeks, over the weekend. I mean, every week, every day, it's a bank failure. It's a systems down. It's a grid going down in this country, right? And now we see it coming back home. And we're going to have to continue to watch this closely. Now, we start out by talking about the war front because we have potential for an endgame in the Ukraine war approaching. Shared by Mats Nilsson on Twitter. Says, today, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu made an announcement that has not yet been carried in Western media, but which is of the most grave nature. According to the latest intelligence reports, Russia believes that the Ukrainian armed forces now intend to cover their failed counteroffensive in the Donbass by using U.S.-supplied HIMARS, multiple launch artillery, and UK-supplied Storm Shadow cruise missiles, possibly in the longer-range domestic version to attack the Crimea. If this happens, says Shoigu, Russia will consider both the United States and Britain to have fully entered the war as co-belligerents, and Russia will immediately respond to any such attack on its territory by destroying, quote, the decision-making centers of the Kyiv regime. This is a fairly transparent threat to neutralize their government apparatus and personnel, logically including President Zelensky. The statement by Shoigu leaves little doubt that we are entering the final phase of the Ukraine war as a war limited to the geography of Ukraine and are possibly heading into a wider war with unforeseeable consequences both for Europeans and finally for the Americans. Now, we continue to pray for peace, but we are watching this closely. Remember, Putin said that this was a strategic military operation, right? So they're going in, they've taken over some regions, they shut down the most recent counteroffensive, but now we're going to be watching this because could we be approaching an end game where they finally finally cross the line, the NATO forces Ukraine backed by the UK and the United States, and we start to see this pick up and maybe to the point of, acceleration, a big, for lack of better words, a big boom really to end this war in the Ukraine region, right? Russia talking very tough over here. We're going to continue to see how this situation unfolds. Good news for those that want to see us continue supporting the Ukraine. We just happened to find another $6.3 billion in the Pentagon's, an accounting error that we have now found another $6.3 billion for the Ukraine. So we're going to see how far it goes. But obviously Russia feel impressed, not very happy with the military and the funding that is coming to the Ukraine from the UK and the United States, along with other NATO members. But what we have to watch here closely is how much of this strategic military operation is complete on behalf of Russia, right? What all have they accomplished, and what is their plan or the announcement that they're going to make next? For that, I tune in over here to this next article. We're going to be taking a look at Jim Rickards' most recent article, where he says the BRICS plus countries will announce the creation of a new currency at its annual Leaders Summit conference on August 22nd through the 24th. This will be the biggest upheaval in international finance since 1971. It's taking direct aim at the dollar. Quite simply, the world is unprepared for this geopolitical shock wave. So, in the kinetic war front, right, they've already captured some territories. They've already accomplished part of their mission. Who knows how far they're willing to go? If they get attacked here, it looks like they might be ready to do something a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's not the case. We continue to pray for peace. But as I've said, we're fighting a military war, right? There's a war front being fought over here, but we also have the financial currency wars taking place as well. And the fact of the matter is no matter who you support, you have to recognize as an American citizen and a citizen of the West that we can be brought to our knees without them even firing a shot. As Europe found out with the energy crisis, and now, as we could potentially be seeing with the currency crisis hitting back home for the United States. Now, we take a look over here at this article here from Jim Rickards, shared by thedailyreckoning.com. The biggest monetary shock in 52 years, right? If they have been able to accomplish their mission, roll out the new BRICS Plus nations, maybe they're going to be ready to wrap up the strategic military operation. We can only pray for that, right? I recently revealed that the so-called BRICS Plus countries will announce the creation of a new currency at its annual Leaders Summit conference on August 22nd through the 24th. So that's going to be the dates to watch out here for, guys, right? August 22nd through 24th. A lot of chaos. I bet it's going to be crazy all the way through that, right? Man, another summer of love going to be hitting the United States as we get ready to watch the dollar get dethroned. This will be the biggest upheaval in international finance since 1971. It's taking direct aim at the dollar. Quite simply, the world is unprepared for this geopolitical shock wave. It appears likely that the new BRICS Plus currency will be linked to a weight of gold. This plays to the strengths of BRICS members Russia and China. These countries are the two largest gold producers in the world and are ranked 6th and 7th respectively among the 100 nations with gold reserves. One difficulty in considering the impact of the new BRICS currency on the dollar is that all dollar indexes compare currency to currency, but that's meaningless since the dollar, euro, and sterling could all suffer from a loss of confidence at the same time. If gold goes from $2,000 to $10,000 per ounce, that is better understood as an 80% devaluation of the dollar from 0.0005 ounces per dollar to 0.001 ounces per dollar. That's a collapse of confidence, but you'll miss it if you're looking at euros or yen. Those currencies will all be collapsing at the same time. Now, we have to remember, right, this is why we call gold a standard, right? That 1 ounce of gold will always be 1 ounce of gold. It is a standard. Same thing with XRP, folks. 1 XRP is always going to be 1 XRP. Is it going to be 50 cents? Is it going to be 50,000? Probably somewhere in between, right? I think that we're going to have to reset, restructure, and revalue all debts and currencies and commodities before we get to a $10,000 per ounce XRP. Same thing playing out here for gold. Gold ready to break out and potentially, some estimates 5,000 easily done. But as we're going to be talking here, 10,000 plus could easily be achieved as well. The only way to measure the dollar. The only objective metric for dollar strength is the dollar price of gold by weight, since gold is not a central bank currency. This resolves any valuation conundrum as follows. Dollar strength can only properly be measured in gold. Gold is money, but it also is a commodity, utility. BRICS are dollar poor, but commodity rich. That's a good place to be in. A new BRICS Plus currency will be linked to gold. Yep, and you might want to pick up some XRP as well. Not financial advice. So the collapse of the dollar really means higher inflation and a much higher dollar price for gold. That means other commodity prices will rise in lockstep. A commodity boom favors BRICS generally speaking. This dynamic could lead the BRICS Plus currency to displace the dollar as a dominant payment currency more quickly than most expect because of the link to gold. Except for direct participants, the world has mostly ignored this prospect. The result will be a shock to the international monetary system coming in a matter of weeks. Still, the impact on investors won't end when the new BRICS Plus currency is rolled out. The market implications will roil exchange rates and capital markets for years to come. Most people still have no idea how to even approach the subject. Now the question is, isn't gold too volatile to support a currency? After I introduced this subject earlier this month, I received a reader question that I think needs to be addressed. The question is as follows. Jim, since the gold price is really a function of the paper gold market and therefore subject to manipulation and significant volatility, wouldn't a gold-backed currency require that gold be fixed at a certain price, such as it was fixed at $20.67 under the classic gold standard? Otherwise, it would lack the stability a currency requires, even a gold-backed currency. Again, the paper market subjects gold to manipulation. And we know there's been a massive amount of manipulation. JP Morgan has been caught doing so for years, right? The US obviously doesn't want a rival currency bloc, especially one led by Russia and China, and would have every motivation to sabotage it. The US, in conjunction with the big banks, could create all kinds of havoc in the paper market to undercut gold prices. Exactly like I just mentioned, right? Working with the big banks, the JP Morgan types, to manipulate this thing, keep it suppressed, just like silver, just like XRP. As has been shown through the him and emails and the corruption all the way up to the top, Gary Gensler, the CFO of the criminal campaign conspiracy. But that's for another story, another day, right? But you guys know what we're talking about. This is collusion with the biggest banks in the world to keep these assets suppressed. There really can't be two parallel gold markets, one fixed at a certain price that BRICS recognizes and the other one fluctuating constantly. In other words, can a trading bloc really adopt a gold-backed currency in the absence of an updated version of the classic gold standard with a fixed price? Otherwise, the volatility introduced by the paper market would render the underlying commodity unsuitable as a currency, which is meant to be stable, or so it seems to me. Am I missing something here? It's a good question, and that reader is months ahead of the rest of the world in figuring this out. Gold manipulation is real. The reader is correct that gold prices are manipulated. There's hard statistical evidence to make the case. In addition to anecdotal evidence and forensic evidence, the evidence is very clear in fact. I spoke to a PhD statistician who works for one of the biggest hedge funds in the world. I can't mention the fund's name, but it's a household name. You've probably heard of it. He looked at COMEX, the primary market for gold, opening prices, and COMEX closing prices for a 10-year period. He was dumbfounded. He said it was the most blatant case of manipulation he'd ever seen. He said if you went into the aftermarket, bought after the close, and sold before the opening every day, you would make risk-free profits. He said statistically that's impossible unless there's manipulation occurring. I also spoke to Professor Rosa Abrantes Metz at the New York University Stern School of Business. She's the leading expert on gold price manipulation. She has actually testified in gold manipulation cases. She wrote a report reaching the same conclusions. It's not just an opinion. It's not just a deep, dark conspiracy theory. Here's a PhD statistician and a prominent market expert lawyer, an expert witness in litigation qualified by the courts, who independently reached the same conclusion. There's no need to get into the nuts and bolts of how the manipulation is carried out. It's enough to realize that it does actually happen. Anyway, here's how I'd answer the reader's question. It's all about weight. There will not be two prices for gold. There can only be one price, with small differences for paper versus physical, commissions, etc. If there were two prices in the same currency, the difference would quickly disappear due to arbitrage, buying a security in one market and simultaneously selling it in another market at a higher price. The gold price may be expressed in dollars, euros, or BRICS plus. Of course, you'll get different absolute values in each currency, but that's a function of exchange rates, not different prices for gold. The BRICS plus currency will be valued in units of gold by weight. I don't know what the value they plan to use, but an example would be BRICS $1 equals 1 ounce gold. At today's market, that would make BRICS $1 and US dollar 1,950, but that is not a peg. The peg is 1 ounce, so the BRICS currency will have a fixed value in gold. At the same time, the dollar will have a floating value in gold, as it has since 1971, when President Nixon took us off the gold standard. That means the BRICS USD cross rate will float based on the value of gold measured in each currency. You will be able to calculate the value of BRICS $1 measured in dollars, but that is not a peg. Here's where it gets interesting for investors and for your asset allocation. China and Russia are likely to call the shots. If the dollar price of gold goes up, the value of BRICS dollar will go up against the dollar. If the dollar price of gold goes down, the value of BRICS dollar will go down against the dollar. If I'm a BRICS member, I might want the dollar price of gold to go up so I can buy US goods and services on the cheap. Conversely, if I'm a BRICS member and a commodity exporter, I might want the dollar price of gold to go down so parties with dollars will buy more of my commodities. Of course, that undermines the point of the BRICS currency to some extent because the whole idea is to get away from the dollar-based transactions. China and Russia are likely to call the shots. My estimate is that they will want a high dollar price for gold in order to make their BRICS currency more valuable. This will help to increase their own wealth and destroy confidence in the dollar, taking us out without even firing a shot. This policy, backed up by physical gold purchases, could drive the dollar price of gold to $3,000 per ounce or higher very quickly. In reality, the BRICS currency and physical gold are pegged and unchanged. If gold goes to $3,000 per ounce, we are actually witnessing the collapse of the dollar. That's the whole idea. The dollar stands to lose in value measured in gold or BRICS currency. The dollar will also lose value due to inflation resulting from the lower value. It will take more dollars to buy imported goods or take vacations abroad. Moving money to stocks, bonds, or savings accounts won't protect you because they're all denominated in dollars. There's a simple solution to this coming currency crisis: just buy gold. That will preserve wealth and protect you from inflation. You can always sell the gold if you need cash. It's just that you'll get more cash than what you used to buy it. That's what the BRICS are doing, and you can too. Time to hop on the BRICS bandwagon with gold. The train has left the station, just like Rosie Rios told us. Guys, the setup is so clear, and that's why it was so important for me. You know, I don't have any sponsors, but I do have a couple affiliates, and my affiliates will help you roll over your 401k retirement account to precious metals. If you're looking to make an allocation to gold or silver with your 401k or any sort of retirement savings account, they will help you do so. Right? Now, we also can get the metal shipped directly to you as well. So just head to my website, linked up down below, zachrector.com. Let us know whether you want the metal shipped directly to you or you want to roll over the 401k retirement account. We can achieve both. You can get on the train. We are leaving the station. It's already going and it's gone. Okay. But the announcement is going to be coming potentially here on August 22nd through the 24th at the next BRICS Summit. Right? So we literally are 2 months away from potentially getting the announcement of the new BRICS reserve currency. We're going to see what their plan is, what the peg is going to be, right? But we know that it's going to be backed by gold. So take advantage of this opportunity while we can, right? The supply shock that's coming for silver is incredible. We've been talking about that setup as well, okay? But we have potentially here, guys, a couple more months before the real move, the real announcement is made. And this window, this gap is closing quickly. Please take advantage of it. We have the affiliates down below to help you get that done. Let us know how we can help you out. Okay. I appreciate all of you guys. If you like this content, please smash it on the way out. Make sure you hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all.